Hello, class. This is Steve Campbell. It's Sunday, cloudy day in Maine, but hopefully you're having a relaxing weekend because I know most of you are very busy. Uh, what we're doing right now is the weekly recap. Let me spend a few minutes to go over kind of how last week went, what's coming up in this week, and then talk about a few other things that hopefully will be helpful to you as you work your way through the course. First of all, looking at last week, all of you were extremely busy. When you add the article analysis to discussion forums and things like that, obviously there's a lot of work to do, plus the reading. To make you all feel somewhat better is that of the total class of 21 people, only one person was able to get everything done that was scheduled. So you're not out there alone, and I would not get stressed out about this. The people that have notified me would tell you that I'm very flexible as far as recognizing that you have a full schedule and that sometimes you're going to fall behind. The goal is obviously to catch up by the end of the semester. I read some very good article analyses. The topics were very interesting. The writing was very good. So I'm very pleased about that, that many of you really did a great job on that. But we need to turn it up a notch overall to catch up because we're going into Module 5 next week. But let me be very clear about the lateness, the current lateness of most of you is that, first of all, that no late penalties are going to be charged. So don't worry about late penalties. Secondly is you have the opportunity to go back if you did not complete one of the assignments and do it without penalty. So if you had to skip one because you had to move on into the time, then you can go back for the final and finish it so you can make sure all your assignments are complete before you take the final. So that should be helpful to you. And finally is that communicate with me. When people have issues and I see they have issues and I talk to them, it's normally a way to calm you, make you understand that I understand what's going on, and allows you to move through this knowing that someone recognizes that you got a full plate and that he's going to support you in any way he can. So I encourage you, when you're running into problems and you're going to be late, just send me an email and say, hey, I'm going to be late. And I'm sure you'll find, many of you have already found, that my answers are normally always put together in such a way as to support you to get through this course successfully, which is what I had indicated to you at the beginning of the course. So let's start getting caught up a little bit here. Let's get our way on it because we're in Module 5 and we're basically got 3 weeks left in the course. So it's time to start to catch up and get your grades where they need to be. Looking at the upcoming week, we're reading chapters 15, 16, and 17, and I think you'll find these interesting because of some of the things ongoing right now in our current environment as far as the social media, etc. The discussion post relates to 3 topics. First is discuss how fixed and variable costs will change if your business grows. There is a difference between fixed and variable costs. You need to understand that because that has a lot to do with determining what actions you can take to improve the profit of a firm. You want to identify a perfectly competitive firm, which is not many of them around, you have purchased a product from. So it's going to be rather limited as far as what options are out there because most of the marketplace that we deal in is competitive. There's very few perfectly competitive firms and monopolies in existence today. And the last question as part of the discussion post is, what does a perfectly competitive firm why can't a perfectly competitive firm earn a normal profit in the long term versus the short term? So those 3 questions lead you into the discussion post, and trust me, there's many examples right now that Congress is thinking about going after social media, Facebook, Twitter, etc., because of their control of the social media venue. So this is something that you're seeing right now, and it's really going to be something more and more important as we follow through this year and other years as far as how we handle the big players in the marketplace. If you look at some of the key terms that we're going to be talking about in Mod 5, we're talking about monopoly, a natural monopoly, an oligopoly, price discrimination, collusion, doesn't sound good, does it? Cartels, prisoner's dilemma. So some very interesting things you're going to learn in these chapters that once you understand what they are, you'll start seeing in some of the information that's broadcasted through whatever medium you use on the internet or TV or whatever, that a lot of these things are going on now. And now you'll start understanding what the terminology is and be able to really be able to make decisions more clearly about what's really going on. So that's Mod 5, monopolies, oligopolies, those type of things. The next subject is business lessons. There's 2 good ones in there this week from someone I'm sure you all heard of, Albert Einstein. Let me read both of them to you, and I'll just say a few words about them. The first one is, try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. And what he's talking about is that your success, people remember you for the type of person you are, not the level of success you achieved. If you're a man of integrity, a woman of integrity, you treat people right, you don't steal money from the company and things like that, you have true value, then people are going to admire you for the right reasons versus, hey, I made a lot of money and I, did it a little bit in the gray area, but so what? So value of you is critical for people to follow you, for you to be a good leader, etc. So think of the type of person you become versus how much money you make. The second one is, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. I imagine you've heard stories about people that were about ready to go bankrupt or have gone bankrupt, and they saw some opportunity out there that no one else could see, and they jumped out and they didn't give up, and they became successful. So those are 2 business principles to me that in your career you're going to get knocked down. You're going to have difficulty. You're going to have to work your way through. But remember, going through that hurricane, there's something at the end that's probably going to be a great opportunity for you. And being a person of integrity that people admire is, to me, straightforward. Okay? So our focus areas going into this week is to catch up. You may not catch up completely this week, but you need to make progress in catching up. Second is peer posts. That's probably the biggest weakness that we all have here in this course, is writing a good peer post. I've seen some improvements, however, which is good. So I think I've seen us moving in the right direction, but we've got to improve our peer posts. If you look at Mod 5, where we're talking about oligopolies and monopolies. I have a hard time saying oligopolies, by the way. You can tell it's a little tongue-tying for me. Monopolies, etc. Here's an example where the topic could be monopoly and oligopoly profits. And here's an example of how you can take one issue and add something to it that can further the discussion. Let me read this to you. The subject is oligopoly and monopoly profits. Monopoly's outcomes are rational, but each oligopolist has an incentive to cheat. just as the prisoner's dilemma indicates. Self-interest drives their decision via the prisoner's dilemma. So you've taken a discussion on monopoly and oligopoly profits, and you've added the topic of prisoner's dilemma. And that's how you get value added. You add something, a different economic term that'll listen to you every Monday. You're giving that to the discussion. So just try to think about that when you see someone's post and they're talking about one topic. Look at your list and see what other topic can I add to it that can bring the discussion forward in a different manner. Okay? So I hope you all have a good week. Again, I want to emphasize again, it's very important to keep me updated. When things are a little rough for you, you're going to fall behind, you don't understand things, because that's what I'm here for. And in most discussions I've had so far with people, I think it's been helpful. I could be extremely subjective on that, but I think it's helped you work through things and get things in perspective. So we don't lose a lot of sleep about this course, but we work forward in a positive fashion and achieve great results. So I certainly appreciate all the work you've done. I appreciate your improvements in your work, and I look forward in the last lap here of the course for us to really take it on and come across the line fast with high grades and good results. So take care of yourself, be careful, be happy, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.